Good morning. I have to confess this sermon's going to be from the heart. I felt like that's what the Spirit was prompting me to do. And so I'm going to try and be faithful in that and hope it's not a complete mess. I wanted to share a little bit of my story. I've heard a lot of inspiring sermons since I've been here that have been kind of helping bring me back to a better understanding of what worship is. Because in all honesty, in this last season of my life, I've been having to ask the question, why do I worship and how can I worship? I've been having to deal with complexity and trust issues because I ask myself, how can I worship when I see so much injustice around me, when I have to deal with the gray areas in life? I ask myself, how can I worship when my mom can say #MeToo? How can I worship when I see videos of people being gunned down? How can I worship when I see things like Charlottesville happen and the leader of our country's response seems to only be in the interest of anyone? He's only trying to make America great again for people who are rich white men. How can I worship in this state in my life? And I'm having to learn what that means. And so I'd like to be able to get up here and give an inspiring sermon about how I've come over that mountain. But unfortunately, that's not my story yet. But I'm hoping in the Lord that I can get there. And so I'd like to share with you Psalm 137. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down, we wept. When we remembered Zion, upon the willows in the midst thereof we hanged our harps. For they that led us captive required of us songs, and they that wasted us required of us mirth, saying, sing us one of the songs of Zion. How shall we sing Jehovah's song in a foreign land? If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her skill. Let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. If I remember thee not, if I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy. Remember, O Jehovah, against the children of Edom, the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, that art to be destroyed. And so, I don't know about any of you, but 2017 has felt like a foreign land to me. 2017 felt like something out of left field, and I'm having to learn to deal with that kind of complexity, in the world, and I find myself having trust issues because I end up finding myself putting God in an arm's length and trying to figure out how I can trust him. And then I want to be able to turn to his people, to his body, but instead, having grown up with parents in the church, I've seen some things in the church that make me have trust issues with God's people as well. And so I hold God at an arm's length with one arm, and with the other arm, I hold his people. And I don't have a hand to take care of myself in that. But what I pray the glory is that in this place, what I'm trying to learn at this point in my walk is that I'm already postured for worship if I just turn my hands toward God. Like I said, I would like to be able to get up here and say I've already come over the mountain. But I'm still making my way up. And I got to learn how to deal with that. So, I pray today that if you are in that same place, that God would show you that he's always been there. Because I know he's always been there for me. But I'm still learning to trust him. I know he was there for me when my mom said, just be ready in case you have to pack your bags, in case we have to move out. When God came through and we were able, and he financially provided. Again and again, God has shown up in my life. But even still, as times are getting tough, I'm having to learn to trust him, and I'm having to learn how can I worship and why do I worship. And so I would just like to offer a bit of encouragement today. Because if you are in that same place, if you come to a festival like this and you hear these inspiring sermons and you want to connect to that kind of hope, know that you're not alone. I am in that place. I see that hope, and I hope that I can connect to that I can reconnect to God and relearn how to worship and why to worship.